These are my Week 5 EMEA and Americas Pickems. First up, the Pacific Playoff Pickems. There'll be a video on them tomorrow, including a power ranking, just the way I did it with China. So that will be tomorrow. So now let's head straight into EMEA first. And we are gonna take a look at the map elo ratings before we do the pick'ems. So here we are, and first up we obviously have Team Liquid gaining a lot of points and Fnatic losing a lot of points, just because Team Liquid wrecked Fnatic on Ascent, so that's Fnatic losing a lot of elo on that map, and Team Liquid gaining a fuck ton. As you can see, they have nearly a rating of 2000, which is really damn high. And yeah, so that has had quite a bit of impact, and I think it's fairly representative how it looks right now. It kind of looks like Team Liquid is actually just a step above Heretics and Fnatic. Well, with Heretics we don't quite know, since they haven't played in stage 2, since they're in opposing groups. But they did look like they are just a comprehensible better team than Fnatic, which is quite surprising. But I wouldn't say that it's like definitive how this split is gonna go. I think Fnatic still has a lot of time to improve, and I wouldn't be surprised if they still end up winning stage 2. They have incredible individual players, so that is always within the realms of possibility with this team. And yeah, it's not like they lost against a bad team, they lost against Team Liquid. And yeah, if they just take their lessons from it, they'll still be a top 3 team who can win the split. Then next up we had BBL against Vitality, a really close match, and they're by the elo system also pretty close, which yeah, I think holds true. They played very close in their match. It could have gone to either of these two teams really, and it ultimately went to BBL, so they're slightly higher. So thus far I think the elo system has done is looking fairly good. It seems to be doing well, but then we come to a bit of an issue with K Corp being quite high and quite a lot higher than Navi, who just seemed like the better team. Navi really rolled Karma and Corp, and they just looked a lot better actually. And I'm fairly high up on Navi. Like, I think they could be the best team after these top 5. So I would currently say they're like 6th, 7th maybe best team. So yeah, should be a bit higher in my opinion. Giant X kind of with these two teams makes sense. I think that's where they fit. Foot looked obviously a bit rough, just kind of down a bit on them. I said it at the beginning of stage 2, I'm not a fan of the CNET pickup, not because I don't think that CNET is a good player, but because I think he doesn't fit the smoke role perfectly, and they haven't run double duelist. And Zeus just keeps on struggling a bit. There's kind of a little bit missing for him to take that last step to be really good, or even though the potential is showing. But yeah, that's why I would agree that Foot is like a bit down. And then Gentlemates had trouble closing out a game yet again. And Koi, some stat padding, getting a win against Apex. These are obviously the 3 worst teams. So now let's head into the Pickems. And as you can see, I went 5-1 last week. Fairly decent, I would say. I guess the Team Liquid win over Fnatic, which I don't think a lot of people had as like a slight upset coming in. So I'm really glad I got that. Then the BBL win against Vitality, which was a close map, I also got that. I obviously didn't see the Navi win against KC coming, but Navi just looked really good. So now let's head into the week 5 pick'ems. And first up, Navi should win this match against Koi. Navi just looked way better all stage 2, and especially last week they looked very good against K-Corp, so they shouldn't have a problem with Koi, who is a worse team than K-Corp. Then next up we have Fnatic. They should get this easy bounce back win against Apex. There's absolutely no world in which Apex wins this. Then next up, Heretics should win against Giant X. They're just the better team and better individual players, so I also don't see a world where Giant X wins this one. Next up, we have Vitality against Gentle Mates, and I'm going with Vitality. Gentle Mates just had trouble closing out games all year long, all stage 2 especially. And yeah, Vitality looks fairly decent. They looked on par with BBL, so like a 4th, 5th team in the region. So there shouldn't be a world where Gentlemates wins this. Then we've got Turkish the Turkish rivalry. I think BBL wins this. I haven't been impressed with what they've been struggling within stage 2, and BBL has just looked like the 4th best team all year long, so that's why I'm continuing to bet on BBL. Then with the last match, I'm going Team Liquid over K-Corp. Team Liquid looks like the best team in EMEA right now, and yeah, I don't see why they should lose against K-Corp. So these are my pick'ems done. I would say with EMEA this week, these are fairly straightforward pick'ems. I think there's a clear favorite in all of these games, and there aren't a lot of ways how upsets can happen this week. So yeah, I I'm sure we're gonna get some upsets still, at least one probably. But yeah, these are the pick'ems that I'm going with. And now let's head into Americas and look at the map elos there. So with Americas, we still have G2 and Sentinels, the two teams on top, with G2 actually being quite a bit above Sentinels now, which is quite impressive, I would say, since they're playing with a sub. But Baby Bay has been really pulling his weight. He has looked really good. I've been really impressed with him this split. So then after these two, there's Cloud9, who are just the regular season beasts. They always look really good in regular season. It's just about whether they can take that and show in playoffs that they can perform to that level. But what also needs to be said about C9 is that they have neither played Corrode nor Sunset. So that's kind of a bit questionable. How have you not played either of the two new maps? Are you really trying to go into playoffs with two maps as your permabans? You can't, right? Eventually a team is going to pick one of these two maps that you've never played before and is going to beat you on that map, since you don't have any real practice. So I feel like C9 isn't doing enough to get like properly ready for when playoffs come around, and are just trying to get wins in regular season, which is what they've always done in the history of their org. And so I don't think they're setting themselves up to be performing well in playoffs. Then next up we have 100 Thieves, who, even though they won against Loud, still lose some elo since they got 13-2'd on Sunset. So that saw them losing a lot of elo rating. So that's where that's coming from, that they lose elo even though they won, which is why Loud also gains elo since they lost. Then next up we have Lev and NRG, pretty much at the same spot, with Lev beating Crew, which I think was an upset, and I certainly did not see it coming. But I wouldn't say that it's been like a huge upset. I was just a bit more high on Crew, but I've been a bit impressed by Lev, and yeah, Sato has been performing really well, Okeanos as well. So the two newbies really pulling their weight. So that's been impressive with Lev, and I have to say I like the team, and I hope they continue having more success since I enjoy them. And then we have NRG, who yeah, just been performing very solidly in stage 2, and Scuba has been a great addition to the team. So yeah, overall I think they fit with their positioning, but I would say that Crew is probably at the same level as these two teams. But yeah, they just lost some elo to Lev in that matchup. Yeah. Then next up, there's like Loud, EG, and 2G somewhat at the same elo ratings, and I would say that that's roughly true. Loud is maybe a bit high since they 13-2'd 100 Thieves on Sunset, but yeah, apart from that, they would be probably head on with these two teams, and I think that that's true. These teams look like they're either struggling to make playoffs or just gonna get sent home in the first round of playoffs. And yeah, I haven't seen anything that makes me believe that they can make a run in playoffs, even though EG did exactly that in stage 1 when you weren't really expecting that. And then after that, you have the disappointing in MIBR. I'm really confused about this team. Always when I think that they're good again, then they disappoint me. And when I'm not expecting anything, then they give me a bit of reason to believe in them again. But yeah, no, I'm again down on them, so maybe they end up performing again and somehow make champs or something. But yeah, then lastly we have Furia, who are just the worst team in Americas. They've been that all year long, so makes sense why they're that far down. So now let's head into the Pickems for Americas Week 5. And we're starting with a really close match, Crew against NRG. Now, this match could have some playoff implications, since NRG winning this and Crew losing could mean that they might not make playoffs actually. So that's gonna be a really interesting match. Who would I favor though? I've been really high on Crew all year long, kind of, and I think that they're gonna be really desperate in this match, since it's about keeping their playoff hopes and their champions' hopes alive. So that's why I'll go with Crew, even though I've been a bit disappointed with Dante Deus. I think that I was expecting more of him, and I think it's been more so the Kesnet show than the Dante show or the Dante and Kesnet show. But yeah, I hope maybe we get it this week, and yeah, I feel like they'll be playing with everything that they've got, and maybe NRG tries something since they already made playoffs. So that's kind of the angle I'm going for here. Then next up we have Under Thieves against Lev, which is a game for which the exact same that I just said about Crew versus NRG holds true. But I'm gonna go with 100 Thieves because it's not as much so as it was with Crew and NRG, a match where both teams are like equal-ish in strength. I think 100 Thieves has clearly shown that they are the better team. So even if they don't need this win as much as Lev does, I still think that they are just the better team, and that's why I think that they'll win this match. Then we've got EG against Furia. That's easy. Never bet on Furia. They don't win anything. They're just the worst team in Americas. Then next up we have Sen against 2G, and Sen are clearly the better team. They've been the better team all year long, so that's why I'm going with Sen. Then we got an interesting game. We have G2 against C9. We've got the best team of Americas if they are with their main roster versus the best team in regular season generally. One of the best teams in regular season. And G2 playing with a sub, obviously. So I'm actually going with C9 because of that. I think C9 always try to win however many games that they can win within regular season, and even though they made playoffs already, I don't quite feel like they will try and improve, take these stage games to improve for playoffs. I think that they'll still just try and do what they're good at to try and win this regular season match, even though it's kind of meaningless-ish. So yeah, that's why I'm going C9 over G2, even though this would be an upset in my opinion. And then the last match is an interesting one. It's MIBR versus Loud, with MIBR really needing this win to stay in, and yeah, Loud just having looked a bit better overall, and that's why I'm going with Loud. I can see myself being wrong with this very much so, since, as I've said, every time when I was down on MIBR, that's when they finally performed. So yeah, maybe they will perform and somehow like make playoffs through a tie-breaking situation or something. But yeah, I would bet on Loud here. And these are my Pickems locked in, and I wish you guys luck with your Pickems as well, and I'll see you guys next time.